Hey Tech Gurus, this is your host MSP, back with a new video about iOS versus Android. iOS versus Android is a debate going on for more than a decade. Both the platforms are made for smartphones capable of doing almost anything. So today, we are going to compare the two most famous smartphone platforms. Which operating system do you prefer and which operating system do you use? Tell me in the comments and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's begin. Number 1. The developers. Android OS is developed by Google. It is also developed by Open Handset Alliances in September 2008. Whereas the iOS is developed by Apple Incorporated. It was developed in July 29, 2007. Both the companies are on the list of top businesses around the world. Number 2. Customizability. Many people like the things if the things are in the way they want. The same applies to their smartphones. The ability to be customized is a win-win situation for Android users. Androids can be customized in the way the user wants, whereas iOS platforms doesn't have much to be customized. Number 3. Source model. Android uses open source software. An open source software is a code that is designed to be publicly accessible. It is also known as OSS, which means anyone can see, modify, or distribute the code as they want. But the iOS uses a closed source software with open source components in it. A closed source software is a software that holds the source code safe and encrypted. In simple words, the user can't copy, modify, or delete some of the codes. Without some different consequences, you cannot modify the code. If doing so crashes the software, the company is not responsible for it. Number 4. File transferring. File transferring in Android is a way easier task than in iOS. It's done using USB port and Android file transfer software. In a simple word, photos and media files can be transferred via USB without any additional application in Androids. But in iOS, it is a bit more difficult process. Media files must be transferred using iTunes desktop app in a computer. But photos can be transferred without any application using a USB cord. Number 5. Internet browsing. Internet has become a basic necessity of our daily lives, and almost everybody uses it either on their mobile or on their computers. Androids uses mostly Google Chrome as their default browser, but many other browsers like DuckDuckGo and Firefox are also available for Androids. Any browser app can be set as default, and ad blocking is supported by Firefox. Now, the iOS uses Safari browser. Any browser app can be set as default browser, but they all must use the same rendering engine, which is Safari or WebKit. Ad blocking is supported via content blockers like Focus, which is also a product of Firefox. Number 6. Maps. Have you ever been lost in a new country where you went to have a nice and soothing vacation? Well, don't be afraid. If you have a smartphone with you, smartphones are equipped with GPS in them. It can locate you and can tell you different directions using different apps. Depending on your smartphones, the apps vary. Like Androids come with Google Maps as their default map application, and the iOS uses Apple Maps as its default map application. But the Google Maps is also available via a separate app download, but not as a default app for navigating. Number 7. Language barrier. There are many different languages spoken around the globe. It made it important for the smartphones to be equipped with, but only a handful of them. Like Androids. Androids have more than 100 different languages available depending on the manufacturer, version and the model of the smartphone you are using. Here, iOS has only 40 languages, which makes it not much but a bit less convenient than Androids. Number 8. Your personal assistant. Almost every smartphone has a voice-activated assistant in it. These assistants have changed the way we live. They can perform your tasks in the mobile as you command them, but not physically. Now don't tell your assistant to bring coffee for you, but you can ask it to set an alarm, call someone, emergency calls, set a schedule, play music, or launch any app. The assistant can even play a game or tell a joke for you. And much more is possible thanks to the development of artificial intelligence technology. Okay, now back to the topic. Androids use Google Assistant, which is developed by Google. It can be activated by saying, "Okay Google." iOS also have an assistant, but it is called Siri. It is developed by Apple Incorporated. It can also perform the same functions as the Google Assistant, but it is activated by saying, "Hey Siri." Number 9. The App Store. App Store is an application in which your smartphones can download and update applications. Android uses mostly Google Play Store, which has more than 2.56 million apps, which also has every app a user will ever need. From games to messengers, users can enjoy any application they like. And Androids also have other app stores like Amazon and Aptoide. These applications also distribute Android apps in the form of APKs. But downloads from other than Google Play is a risky task in Androids, as the apps containing viruses are rare but inexisting. So, the iOS has only the Apple App Store, which has a bit less selections than Android. Apple App Store contains of 1 million plus applications, and there is no other store for the iOS devices available. Because iOS blocks third-party applications, but the good thing here is that the iOS stops applications to be installed which contains viruses, malwares and etc. Apps containing viruses are very rare for iOS, and you can say it is non-existent for it. Number 10. The battery life. The most important thing to run any smartphone is its battery. Battery is a hardware where the energy is stored to run the device. Battery life is a term used to refer the capacity of the battery to stay alive for the particular time. Battery life is a very important thing to keep the smartphone running. That is why smartphone manufacturers are trying to innovate with higher battery life and fast charging while keeping the battery as compact as possible. But not all Android phone manufacturers equip their devices with large batteries with longer life, depending on the pricing or manufacturer or version of the mobile you buy. But Apple batteries are generally not as big as the largest Android battery. However, Apple is able to squeeze decent battery life via hardware or software optimizations to keep their devices on for a longer time. Number 11. Importance of your files. We all have important files in our smartphones, like files from our work or present memories. To ensure it stays in your smartphone, Android has apps available for automatic backup of your files, like Google Photos, which allows unlimited backup of photos at a compressed quality. And other apps like OneDrive, Amazon Photos and Dropbox are also available. Here, iOS gives up to 5 GB of photos and videos which can be automatically backed up with iCloud. More paid iCloud storage is also available via subscriptions. All other vendors like Google, Amazon, Dropbox, Flickr have auto backup apps for both iOS and Android. But Androids have cheaper subscriptions for clouds when compared to iOS. Number 12. Security. Security of your smartphones is a very concerning matter nowadays. Androids receive monthly security updates, but the manufacturers tend to lag behind in pushing out these updates. So at any given time, a vast majority of Android devices are running outdated OS software. But here in iOS, it may be not as fast as Android in the matters of occasional security updates, but security threats are quite rare because iOS is a locked operating system and downloading apps out of the App Store is complicated. Hence, iOS is safer than Androids. Number 13. Looks matter. Smartphones are handheld, because of which many people tend to choose looks over specifications. Androids have many varieties of looks available for the users, whereas Apple is a bit lazy when it comes to looks. Androids had notch camera and other new designs before Apple. Number 14. Routing, bootloaders and jailbreaking. Users nowadays are getting smarter in using smartphones, because of which they want full access to their smartphones. Android users can have access and complete control over their devices by routing, which is convenient if used properly. Android users can also unlock the bootloader, but in iOS, complete control over your device is not available for the users. But the users can perform jailbreaking, which is not valid from the company and voids the warranty of your smartphones. Take my advice, never try to jailbreak your smartphone. Number 15. User-friendly. Users of smartphones are large in numbers, and different kinds of users use their phones differently. The smarter ones can use their phones without any hassle, but users with not much knowledge of technology tend to have a difficulty while using smartphones. That's why Androids has a very user-friendly operating system. Androids are easier to use, whereas iOS is difficult to use and is more complicated. iOS cannot be used by a person who has never used any smartphones. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I guess the only similarities between Android and iOS is their touchscreen and the speakers. Do you know more differences about iOS and Android? Then please let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like, share and subscribe button.